Welcome back. Welcome back. Peace and blessings, Shalom, peace and blessings, family, to the Born of Levi experience here on G.O.C.C Media. I am your host, Deacon Hazak, and we are here for another Thursday evening edition of the broadcast. Y'all see the topic of discussion. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And like it says in the title, 90% of people in the world that's living today will not understand this golden rule. So listen, y'all want to lock in? Y'all want to tell a friend to tell a friend? Because we're going to talk about it. All right? We're definitely going to talk about it tonight. So please, on your way in, hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications. All that good stuff. Drive the traffic, because we about to go in.
This is the Born of Levi experience on G.O.C.C Media.
Yes. Welcome once again to the Born of Levi experience. And again, I am your host, Deacon Hazak. How we all doing in the room? I pray that you all are doing blessed. I pray that you guys had a blessed week thus far. And I don't know about y'all, but this week flew by for me. And I want to give all praises to the Most High for that. All praises to the Most High. Man, you know, we had a blessed week. We all, well, I'm going to speak for myself for now until I hear from you guys. But I was able to leave the home, come home safely. My family, my children going out, my wife going out, coming back home safely. Man, that's all praises due to the Most High, man. There's some people who can't say that. There's some people who leave the house and don't come back. But we're more fortunate enough to be able to come back, to go out, come in, and be safe, man. We got to give all praises to the Most High for that, right? Give some Most High some praise in the comment section, man. Right? And if I'm coming in nice and clear, brothers and sisters, please, brothers and sisters, if I'm coming in nice and clear, please drop a quam in the chat for me. If I'm coming in nice and clear, only if I'm coming in nice and clear. I just need a quam in the chat real quick. Okay. Thank you for the qualms. Thank you. Okay. I see. All right. I'm coming in nice and clear. So we definitely going to go in as we allow people to come in, right? I want to get right into it, but I don't want to waste nobody's time. And I want to go into this conversation, man. This conversation is well needed. And it's almost thank you for the qualms. I appreciate it. It's almost to the same effect of last week's lesson where we spoke about being carnal and being spiritual. And this is along the same lines, right? But we're going to talk about reaping what you sow, right? Whether it be good or whether it be bad. And that's something that we got to talk about. And a lot of people in the world don't understand this golden rule. If it wasn't so, Christ wouldn't be speaking about it, right? And not only Christ, you have all these other Eastern religions speaking about the same thing, but they call it something different. They call it what? Karma, which is just a spin of what our God already established from the beginning. All right, we're gonna talk about that. But before we go into that, right, let me play a message from our sponsor. Right, hang tight.
Are you tired of reading the Bible and not really understanding what it means?
Yo, you know you're reading the book upside down?
I need a teacher. I got the perfect solution for you. The Hebrew and Bible Academy got you all covered. There, you'll learn the original Hebrew language with Elder Lawya, groundbreaking news from around the world with Elder Shaphat, and all new up-to-date lessons, including ancient history with Elder Rawchaa. Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll there. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
Yes, and if you did not know, the Hebrew and Bible Academy will be starting September 7th, as you guys can see on your screen. And the theme of this academy is titled Revelation, Mystery of the Spiritual Realm. Listen, the elders is gonna go in on this coming academy, man. You don't want to miss out, right? Starting Sunday, September 7th, right? The academy, all right. They're gonna be bringing forth new lessons, right? I'll start here first. The origin of the spiritual realm. They're gonna talk about the origin of it, how all things started. A lot of people like to, or science, I should say, like to frame how everything started. They said everything started from a big bang, right? A big bang happened, and everything that we see around us sparked from a bang, from destruction. And we're going to show you in the Hebrew and Bible Academy that is further from the truth. Okay, right? Teaching the serpent seed, how Lucifer became the chief Satan. Yeah, the chief Satan. So there's more than one Satan. There's more than one deceiver. Okay, but how Lucifer became the chief of the Satans. Right, we're going to be speaking about that. Christ and the keys to spiritual warfare. Understanding spiritual warfare, breaking it down, understanding how to deal with the spiritual realm, right? When someone is dealing with ailments or demonic possession, these things need to be explained, but they can be explained scripturally. So you don't want to miss out on that, right? What else we got? We got the craft, the priesthood. Listen to this. The priesthood of Satan versus the priesthood of God, right? That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the priesthood of Satan versus the priesthood of God. Two priesthoods on this earth, two priesthoods at battle right now. And we're going to speak about a little bit about both today, right? So you want to stay tuned. And the AI technology and the mark of the beast, right? We're definitely going to be talking about that. New prophetic teachings, right? The Hebrew language tools. If you want to learn the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, you can do so in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Elder Lawya does a great job to start off the academy by going into the Hebrew, right? You also get a certificate of completion, like a degree or a diploma, if you want to call it that, because this is an academy. So you get your certificate of completion, right? Showing that you are astute in the doctrine of Christ, right? We also have live interactions and Q&A if you ever want to speak to the elders outside of blog talk or on Fridays with what's that thing called? It's slipping my mind. The other platform, streaming platform, it's slipping my mind right now. Patreon. Is it Patreon? Y'all know better than me. Q&As, live Q&As, right? Kingdom focused curriculum, right? And so much more, brothers and sisters. So if you're interested, historytimes.org to secure your spot. It's that easy. historytimes.org. All right. Yes, it was Patreon. I don't know why it slipped my mind like that. So do yourself a favor and enroll. All right. So here we go. Now we're going to speak about this conversation. You reap what you sow, brothers and sisters. And how this conversation came about was very interesting too. This conversation came about in my mind at the gym, actually. I was speaking to, I was at the gym. I was trying to get my workout on. And this brother just, I've seen him before. We speak, whatever the case is. We talk. But he just came over and, from there, my workout was cut short. You know what I'm saying? Conversations was going. Then another brother joined in the conversation. And then we started talking about, meeting them where they're at with their understanding. They started talking about karma, how karma is real, where, what goes around comes around. And, I put in my 2 cents, letting them know, like, that's a biblical concept, right? And, understanding that golden rule, right? The world calls it what goes around comes around. The scripture calls it whatever you sow, you shall reap. The East Indians, under Hinduism and Buddhism and Taoism and all this other isms, they call it karma, right? But with their understanding of it, they've added their paganism within it, as far as reincarnation and their mythicism. They've added their mythicism into that understanding, right? But that saying, what goes around comes around, you reap what you sow, that's a biblical understanding. And it just basically comes from cause and effect. For every action, there is a reaction, right? We could see that as far as the earliest form of that is in the garden, right? In the garden, the Most High, in the book of Genesis, the Most High told Adam and Eve, the tree that's in the midst of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the day you eat from it, or the day you touch it, smell it, whatever the case is, the day you eat from it is the day you will surely die. So the cause was them eating the fruit, and the effect was what? Death. So that was the earliest form of you reaping or what you sow. So that didn't come from the wise sages of the East Indian Hindus or Buddhism. That came from the Most High himself. Okay. You reap what you sow came from the Most High. The earliest example that we have of that is Adam and Eve. So, but it's a universal law because we all come from Adam. That's what makes it universal. Everybody on this earth comes from Adam, right? Then Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which repopulated the earth, which carried on the same teachings from Noah, right? And it spread throughout the four corners of the earth, right? But as time went on, people strayed away from the knowledge of the Most High God and took bits and pieces of what He instituted on the earth and added their own satanic or paganistic views into the understanding that was already taught and given, right? So we're going to talk about what you reap, you will sow. Sorry, what you sow, you shall reap. Sorry, I mixed that up. And on your way in, brothers and sisters, please hit that like button, right? Hit that like button on your way in. To kick it off, matter of fact, let me read this scripture to show y'all where I'm going. I'm in the book of Luke chapter 6 to show you that Christ himself had this understanding. And let me just read it. Luke 6:37. Here Christ is telling the disciples, judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. So he's showing them the relationship between how you treat others is how you will be treated eventually. So some people would say, a modern day theologian or scholar. Well, I don't even say theologian, but a scholar or a biblical quote unquote scholar or someone who's trying to explain the Bible would read this and say, you see, Christ had to have gotten these teachers from Hindu writings or the Buddhists, like trying to make it seem that what Christ is saying here, the Hindus or their knowledge or Eastern knowledge predates what Christ is saying, because how is Christ saying the same thing that the Hindus are saying, but he's saying it in this way? This is further from the truth. Okay, right? Christ is showing mankind, is showing us that golden rule, right? What you do to others, it will be done unto you. Watch. He even says that. Look, let me go down to verse 38. Verse 38 says, give and it shall be given unto you. And this scripture right here, the Christian church had taken this and remixed this scripture and made it seem as if Christ was speaking about tithing or giving money. They even made a whole song about this very verse. Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. And in the context of what Christ is speaking about, he was not speaking about money. But you know, they gotta get they gotta get their tithes, they gotta get their money in, right? You gotta pay. They need that helicopter, they need that, you know what I'm saying? Christ was not talking about money here. We understand that because right here in verse 36, he says, be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. So Christ was talking about giving mercy. If you give mercy, it shall be given unto you. See how you could just explain it just by keeping the context of what was being spoken? If you give mercy, it shall be given back unto you. Good measure of mercy, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. So you will receive mercy tenfold when mercy is needed. That's what that's talking about. Look, it says, for the same measure that ye meet, withal it shall be measured to you again. Doing unto others what you do to someone, it shall be done unto you. The measure in which that you choose to judge someone, you will in turn be judged at the same level. So this is why it's very important, and we have to be aware on how we interact and deal with other people. Because if you're holding somebody up here to this standard, best believe somebody's going to hold you up here or here to the same standard or even higher. And guess what? The Most High is going to hold you to an even higher standard. So you got to be very careful how you judge or the amount of mercy you give to people. If you're not willing to forgive, Christ said it in the book of Matthew, where he speaks about, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to this. Let me get it real quick. He speaks about that in the book of Matthew. Let me go there real quick. Matthew 6. Right? Right here. Matthew 6 and 14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. See? But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So he's saying the same thing over and over. Is that whatever a man sow, what you putting out in the world is what you're going to receive. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up to show that he was in that particular instance. Christ was speaking about mercy, forgiveness, treating others how you want to be treated, loving thy neighbor as you love yourself. So we have to understand this golden rule, and it doesn't matter to whom this rule applies to. It applies to everybody. Right? It doesn't matter what race they are. It doesn't matter what type of religion they have. It doesn't matter what type of walk of life they have. No, none of us in here have the authority or the power to treat somebody less than what the Most High would treat them. Right? So we got to understand what it is to be merciful, what it is to have grace, on how to give grace, right? Not everybody understand what you understand. Not everybody is gonna be what you are. So we can't walk without noses up high as if we weren't like these, like, you know, regular people out there who didn't know the Most High, who didn't know Christ, who didn't know what we know. So this is why it's very important for you to understand what you sow in the world is what you're going to receive. You can't be giving out hate and expect to receive love. It doesn't work like that. Matter of fact, it will never work like that. Never. You can't give hate and expect love. You can't sow destruction on the earth. And we're going to talk about a specific race of people who's doing this, but you know, you can't sow discord and destruction on the earth and expect peace. And this should tell you, brothers and sisters, when they sitting down and having peace talks, how you expect me to have peace? How we going to have a talk concerning peace when you just when you just dropped a bomb on my whole country? You're destroying my civilians, and we're going to sit at a table and talk about peace? It's all a show. So regular life teaches us that for every action there is always going to be a reaction. And I understand that the Most High have done this for us to understand this in the physical, to understand future what's going to happen in the spiritual. Because mind you, we're spiritual beings living in the physical. So this is just like a projector. Like our eyes are the projectors. We're just looking at what's happening right now. But what's really going to happen is going to come in the spiritual. So the Most High is allowing us to understand that your choices on earth affects you while you're alive. And the choices that you've made while you were alive follow you after death. And that's what 90% of people do not understand. A lot of people in the world do not understand that what the Most High used in the physical to teach us, like, all right, if I do this, I'm going to receive this. If I spend all this money, I'm going to be broke, right? If I go here, I'm going to get hurt. The Most High allows us to understand that in the physical, so that way we could understand that in the spiritual as well, too. Your life choices will affect what your afterlife will be. And if you don't believe that, I mean, we're all gonna find out eventually. But you can't escape it, because why? This physical life, this physical existence is already showing you that's true. No matter where you go on this earth, everybody is bound by that rule. There's nobody who's exempt from that rule. No one. No one can escape that rule. And I'm going to show you, they even trying to escape that rule. They out of their mind. They out of their cotton picking mind. You know what I'm saying? They're out of their mind. And I had to explain this to my 11-year-old. Right? We was having father and son time, right? And he asked me a question. He asked me, Dad, why is there homeless people on the earth? Why are people homeless? And I told him, I was like, because those people made bad choices in life. And then he said, like, you know, what kind, like he said, but what if they didn't have, then he asked another important question, another great question. Because he's trying to understand the choices that people make, right? So in his mind, he asked me, he said, but what happens if they didn't have any mothers or fathers? And then I had to explain to him that at one point in time, they did have someone over them. They had a mother, they had a father, and they were given, and even if they didn't have a physical mother and father, somebody was raising them. Somebody or through life, somebody was giving them instruction. Because even in life, there's always someone over you. Whether you choose to obey them or not doesn't mean that there wasn't nobody over you, watching over you, or giving you instruction. So I had to let them know, like, even though they didn't have a mother and father, at some point in time, someone was giving them rules to follow. Someone was giving them instructions, but they chose to go outside of those instructions. And this is the result. Their life right now is a result of what you see. And he said, oh, okay, I understand. I get it. What you sow, you shall reap. You reap what you sow. So that's a universal concept. Everybody in life is going through it. Christ said it himself. He said, like, listen, do unto others, because whatever you do, whatever measure you meet, it will be measured unto you. So we got to be very understanding, or we got to really take that into consideration and how we operate on a day-to-day basis. Matter of fact, let me read this next scripture with y'all too. This is a nice scripture in the book of Job. Look at this. Just to drive the point home. Right? Let me go here. In the book of Job. Not the book of Job, the book of Job, right? Here it goes. All right, Job chapter 4. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. I'm going to start at verse 7. Job 4:7, it says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? He said, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So even Job understood this in the times past, before Christ was walking on the earth. People understood this universal law, this golden rule right here. Nobody did not understand that. And it's like nowadays we have people who play the sympathy card or why is me? You doing all of this stuff. You putting out all of this negative energy in the world and don't expect it to come back to you. It just doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make no sense. I'm going to read it again. Job says, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity, like you plowing iniquity, that means the work that you're doing on this earth is straight up just to do wickedness. Your plow is sin. So all you're doing is sinning. You're not following no rules. You're not following. You feel like you're exempt from following rules. You feel like God don't even have rules, so you don't follow God's rules. And it says, and sow wickedness, and all you do is plant wicked seeds everywhere you go. The end result is you will reap the same, according to Job. So this rule, or this golden rule that we have here, we need to understand it. We have to understand, because why? Right now, this coming Shabbat, we're coming into the feast of the blowing of the trumpets. And around this time, right, very high holy month, the 7th month, according to the Hebrew calendar, is more so these feasts in the 7th month is more so of these feasts are dedicated to self-reflection. Right? Why am I saying that? Well, you have the blowing of the trump. What is the blowing of the trump? during the time of before ingathering, they would blow the trumpet, right? They would sound the alarm to let people know that in 10 days, every man, woman, and child would have to atone for their sins. Excuse me, right? They would have to atone for their sins. So with that blowing of the trumpet, you was already reminded that, okay, it's time to prepare yourself to atone. Right? You're already self-reflecting. It's not about who did what to you. You're not pointing the finger. You did this to me. Nah. It's internal. You focusing on what you got going on. And then 10 days later, the whole house of Israel would have to fast, a day of mourning. Right? And then after that, we go into the tabernacle, go into the Feast of Tabernacles, dwelling in booths. The understanding of dwelling in booths was to understand that the Most High had our forefathers and foremothers dwelling in tents for 40 years. Having us not forget what our ancestors went through and how the Most High preserved them through all of the stuff in the wilderness to bring us here to this day, to right now. That's why we're here. Understanding that the Most High had preserved us after atoning, right? After being warned with the trumpets. Those who set their house in order made it past those 40 years. But those who didn't died in the wilderness. So these feasts, or the Feast of Trumpets, or this month, I should say, is a very high holy month as far as for self-reflection. That's how you should be looking at these feasts in the 7th month. Starting from the blowing of the trumpet, the blowing of the trumpet, which we're going to celebrate this Shabbat. Then 10 days later, we would have the Day of Atonement, where all the house of Israel will fast. Then after that, we go into tabernacles, right? So this conversation that we're having right now will aid you in that. Will help you to understand, like, yo, am I putting out wicked deeds in the earth? Am I sowing discord? Am I not being loving? Am I not being merciful to others? Because it's not about what others is doing to you. It's about, because Christ said it's about what you're doing to others. And that right there, if you're not focusing on what others is doing to you, but you're focused on what you're doing to others, that will alleviate the blame game, or holding a grudge, or holding a grudge against someone because you feel that they did this to you. What about what you're doing? Granted, there'd be situations where you could be blameless in the situation, but that does not give you the right to point the finger still. Let the Most High justify you. Right? So we got to talk about this. We got to go into this, because like I said, it's as if a lot of people don't, it's like they'll see the effect of something, and they looking around like, yo, I don't know how this happened. Like, how is this happening to me? What did I do? And don't take in consideration all of the deeds that they've sowed, and then what sprung forth, the situation that you got before you right now. Matter of fact, let me give y'all an example of that. I seen this video. Was it today? Look at this video on Instagram. And to me, this is a perfect example, a great example of what it looks like reaping and sowing, like, or reaping what you sowed, what you put into the earth. Let me show this video. I gotta go here. Look at this. Let me show this video. Perfect example of what the after effects of what you sowed into a situation or to someone. This is the effect of it. But look at this. Let me play this video. This video is crazy. Where are you?
Bring your bitch up.
Oh, whoa, whoa. All right, here it goes. All right, look at this. So in this video right here, this sister films herself, right? So apparently she's some type of content creator, as that's what she says, but it says CPS was called on her because of the content she makes. What's the content she makes? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, probably what, OnlyFans. I don't know what she does. But apparently CPS was called on her because they were trying to take away her kid. So now let's listen to this together and let's see if we could figure out what was sown in this situation to bring forth this effect.
Nanas, come here. Let me talk to my child. Back up, please. This is my kid. I need to talk to him. And you might have him for 2 days, but you ain't going to have him forever. So I need to talk to my child about what's going on. Because he's scared. And you're not giving me a right.
You're making him scared.
No, he already know what he already know. Adonis, am I making you scared?
Adonis, this doesn't have to be this way.
They're trying to take you because you know mommy makes social media.
Calm down.
You know they're trying to take you because you know mommy makes social media. But this little boy don't know what you talking about. He's only gonna show what he's been seeing.
Calm down.
No, I'm not calming down.
It's gonna be fine.
Fuck you.
It's gonna be fine.
Y'all seen what this? Let me just play.
I know you learned that from your mom.
Fuck you.
I know you learned
Fuck you.
He's always doing fun stuff. We was at
No, you ain't.
So that little boy looked like he's no older than 6 years old. But his language. Y'all heard that? So CPS was called on this young lady or this woman right here because they wanted to take away her child. And in the video, you could clearly see that this child is being taught some stuff that he shouldn't be being taught, or he's being exposed to stuff that he should not be exposed to. Let's play it again.
Nanas, come here. Let me talk to my child. Back up, please. This is my kid. I need to talk to him. And you might have him for 2 days, but you ain't going to have him forever. So I need to talk to my child about what's going on. Because he's scared. And you're not
Because he's scared.
giving me a right.
you're making him scared.
No, he already know what he already know. Adonis, am I making you scared?
Adonis,
Adonis, am I making you scared?
No.
They're trying to take you because you know mommy makes social media.
calm down. Tell mommy, calm down. It's
No, I'm not calming down.
It's gonna be fine.
Fuck you.
It's gonna
Look how he's speaking to adults. He learned this. This was sown into him.
be fine. I know you learned that from your mom.
Fuck you.
I know you learned.
He sounds fearless. He does sound fearless. Somebody says he sounds like he's fearless, but is that behavior becoming for a child to use language like that? And what we should be looking at, what you should be looking at is what caused them to call CPS on her. Granted, we know that whole system is about taking children. We know that. But there's some situation where some children are endangered. You can have a parent who's on drugs and they're not physically fit, right, to be parents. But in this situation, I wanted to play this video because I wanted you guys to see that he's a product of what he's around. That's what I want. That's what I want you to see. Forget about the whole CPS thing, but I want you to look at the little boy. Let me play it back a little bit.
Always doing fun.
Tell mommy, calm down. It's
No, I'm not calming down.
It's gonna be fine.
Fuck you.
It's gonna be fine. I know you learned that from your mom. I know you learned.
So y'all hear the language he's using. My children don't use that language. They don't have no reason to use that language because I don't use it. Why are they talking like that? But a child his age should not have that type of language, should not be using that type of language. Even if he feels scared, even if he feels threatened. Right? So I played this video to show the effects of what it looks like when you sowing wickedness into the earth or into an individual or into a child. That's why I played this video. Not to magnify that, oh yeah, CPS is taking the child. Nah. I wanted to show the dynamic of what it looks like, and when you're especially into a little child. Okay? Children are sponges. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, they're going to absorb it, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So if you're sowing immorality into a child, and who knows the type of content that she's making, why CPS was actually called, who knows? She could have been on TikTok or Instagram twerking, being provocative, and he was in the background watching that. You know how many times I've seen videos of little kids in the background while their mothers is twerking? Or little kids are in the background and their mother is dang near half naked. And then when that child grows up and he becomes a womanizer, they blaming him. All men's are dogs. All men cheat. Where did he learn that? How did he learn to become a dog? How did he learn to become a womanizer? No one is speaking on that. We're speaking on the end result, but we're not speaking on how you got there. And here's an example of how this little kid this little kid could grow up to be the next neighborhood terror. But what some people would say, oh yeah, nah, they wrong. And she's not taking no accountability as to why CPS is there. And this is why I said 90% of people is not going to understand this rule. If you're putting this out in the world, that's what you're going to receive. Like, it's not, it can't be rocket science. It's not rocket science. So she's in this, in this going to be this years long battle with CPS and child care services because of yourself, because of you did that. God only knows what kind of content you putting out there that he's exposed to. See? So we never speak. For some reason we don't speak on the cause. We always speak on the end result. Right? Or another example, you see a sister walking in the street and her skirt is so short, right? She's walking down the street and then every so often you see her like trying to pull the dress down. It's not going to get any longer. Like, you knew the dress was that short before you left the house. But you know what it is? It's her subconscious that's uncomfortable. So she has to pull it down. The flesh, I want to dress like this. I want to look provocative. But her mind, her subconscious now is kicking in when she's getting all the attention. Men is looking, right? The unwanted men that you don't want to look at you is looking at you. The crackhead on the street, hey, what's going on, baby? Yeah, you attracting him too. You didn't think when you left the house, you didn't think he was going to say something to you, but he is. Oh, but you didn't want the bum to say something to you. So let me pull the dress down. It's not going to get any longer. So it's not the bum's fault that he's looking at you and catcalling you. It's your fault because you wore that dress. You put that on. So let's focus on what you did, the cause, not the reaction. Got every bum on the street, every crackhead. Hey, come here, baby. What's going on, baby? No teeth. Whole front row missing. And you're mad because he's catcalling you? Look what you got on. Another example. For our brothers, you got your pants sagging down to your ankles. Your pants so sag I can see how ashy your knees are. And you get mad when you get profiled? We got to make it make sense. Okay? We got to make it make sense. You're mad because you get profiled by police because the way you look. Your pants to your ankles, knees ashy. Okay? And you wonder why you getting profiled. You came out the house looking like a hoodlum. What do you think is going to... And not only that, it's 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And you got a black mask pulled down to your face. Like, what are you trying to portray? So when you get stopped and questioned, your response is, oh, it's because I'm black. No, crazy. It's because it's 90 degrees and you have a poo shiesty on and it's 90 degrees. You look like you're about to rob a bank and you're waiting. You have a whole pool shiesty on waiting for the bus. We got to make it make sense. Right? So we gotta stop looking at we gotta stop questioning why this is happening to me and take steps back and be like, yo, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Matter of fact, let me play this next video. There's a next video that had me rolling, but it was exactly the same. Whatever you put out there in the earth is what you're gonna receive, and sometimes what you're gonna receive may not be to your liking. Look at this video right here. Let me play this video. Look at this next video I seen today. This had me on the floor because I'm like, yo, the Most High has a sense of humor. The Most High truly has a sense of humor. Look, let me show y'all this. Hold on, let me show y'all this. Am I there? No. Look at this. Right? Not this one.
Oh, no.
Where is it?
I'm ready. No.
Where is it? Hold on. Let me find this thing. Here it goes right here. So it says on the screen, Granny said I changed, but matter of fact, let me play it back because I want you guys to understand this.
But then all the kids married black. Oh, God, what did you do? Oh. My grandma was a racist, but then all her kids married black. Oh, God, what did you do?
It said grandma was a racist, then all her daughters married black dudes. Now she has black grandchildren. You see the irony in that? She was, in her younger years, she probably was sowing so much hate towards black people to the point where her daughters took a liking to black men. And now she, oh, could you guys hear that? Were you guys able to hear it? I'll play it back. Somebody said I could not understand. You gotta listen to it because she ain't got no rhythm like that, so it's probably kind of hard to understand what she was like singing. She was offbeat and all of that. Let me play it again because she was offbeat. So, but I want you to hear what she was saying, right? You know, you got to understand there's two DNAs inside her fighting for control. The black side's like, nah, we could rap, we could sing. And the other side, white side's like, I don't know. No offense, you know what I'm saying? But look at this.
My grandma was a racist, but then all her kids married black dudes. For she oh, God, what did you do?
So basically, she's singing a song saying that her grandma was a racist, but then all her daughters married black dudes. Talk about karma. How the East Indians would say it. But what you sow, you gonna reap. She probably went, like I said, she probably went her whole younger years, hating black people, cursing them out. And look, your daughters end up marrying and having children by black men. Now you have black grandchildren. Most High has a sense of humor. So this is why when Christ said, with what measure you meet, it shall be measured unto you. Perfect example right there. When I seen that today, I'm like, yo, I got to play this today because it was in line with the conversation. So we got to understand that universal law, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, it's real. And the Most High made it so real so that way we can understand the spiritual, how judgment will be. It's not going to be a foreign thing when we're standing at judgment and the Most High is going to judge you based off of your actions, because in life you were judged based off of your actions on earth while you were alive. What you did, what you put out there. You see? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You guys are saying the audio got distorted when she started singing. But in a nutshell, she was singing a song saying that her grandma was a racist, but then all her daughters married black dudes, and now she has black grandchildren. Basically. Right? So I showed that video to show the irony. Her whole life she was putting out racism and she hated black men, hated black people. Now your daughters married black men and now you have black grandchildren. So you're going to you're going to be racist towards your grandchildren now? See? The Most High, listen, the Most High made this a rule for us to understand judgment. That rule is there for us to understand judgment. Nobody will be exempt from what you've done on earth. You cannot create evil, do evil, be mean, be wicked towards people, try to destroy civilizations and think that you're going to live a life of peace. That does not even make sense. When we look at how things happen in our lives right now. Look, speaking of let's get to some real judgment here, because right, I'm gonna talk about Edom real quick, right? I wanna pinpoint this. I want to paint this. As far as creating evil, just trying to destroy the earth and think you're going to be absorbed from it. Matter of fact, you're trying to escape it. Look at this. I'm on the C. This is the FD. What is this? This is the this is the FDA website. It's FDA.gov. And this was published in June 25th. They put out a new update. This is on the FDA website. You guys could go and check it out yourself. FDA approves required update warning in labeling of mRNA COVID-19 vaccines regarding myocarditis and pericarditis following vaccinations. So now the FDA has approved new updates to be labeled or new warnings for the new vaccines that's coming out. So propose to inform the public and healthcare providers that the FDA has required and approved updates to the prescribing information. Right? Look at this. Did I have it highlighted? No, I didn't. So right here. Updated warning for myocarditis and pericarditis. So it says the warning on myocarditis, and pericarditis in the prescribing information, right? For Carminati or Carminati, or I guess that's one of the vaccine names, and Spikevax has been updated to convey that the observed risk of myocarditis and pericarditis following vaccination from mRNA COVID-19 vaccines have been highest in males 12 through 24 years of age, and to include the following new language. You see that? So now the FDA is requiring the public to be made known of what's been happening concerning this trial run vaccine. That they must warn the people and update them about myocarditis and pericarditis in people who has taken the previous vaccines, or what would happen if they take it now. But it's highest in males 12 to 24. That's just from their research, right? This is what they're saying. It says I'm over here. I'm gonna read this real quick. Based on analyses of commercial health insurance claims. See, commercial health insurance claims. So there's been a lot of claims. Data from inpatient and outpatient settings, the estimated unadjusted incidence of myocarditis and or pericarditis during the period 1 through 7 days following administrations of the 2023 to 2024 formula of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines was approximately 8 cases per million doses in individuals 6 months. So they were giving it to people, to babies as early as 6 months. 6 months through 64 years of age, and approximately 27 cases per million doses in males 12 through 24 years of age. So a lot of people were affected by this. So now the FDA wants them to warn the people with labeling of these are the pre-existing conditions in those who took it back in 2023 and 2024. See, follow-up information on cardiovascular outcomes in hospitalized patients who've been diagnosed with COVID-19 vaccine-associated myocarditis is available from a longitudinal retrospective observational study. So observational, study. Most of these patients have received a 2-dose primary series of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine prior to their diagnosis. In this study, at the median follow-up of approximately 5 months post-vaccination, persistent of abnormal cardiac magnetic response imaging. CMR. Okay. I guess, yeah. CMR imaging findings that are a marker of myocardial injury was common. So this was a common injury in people who took it from as early as 6 months to 64 years old. Now the FDA wants them to publicly make this known to people. But look at this.
Well, later this morning,
I had it saved right on that thing. Hold on. I don't want to play the video. I just wanted to play this right here. I just wanted to show this right here. Where is she? So this, I don't know if any of you guys know this doctor or have heard of her. But this is Dr. Mary Bowden. Some 5 years ago, she was on the news and her license was revoked. She had to resign from a position because they said that she was spreading false and harmful information about the vaccines and all of that stuff, right? And it says, but this is what she's saying. She said, I do not believe the vaccine is a one-size-fits-all solution, which is a good approach to have as a doctor. She said, if you voice any concerns, then you are attacked, you are bullied. And she was stating stuff like this years ago, but they silenced her. But now all of a sudden, the FDA now wants them to update the warnings. So my thing is, why silence them or doctors back then for something that you know that you was going to update in the future? Because now is an updated warning. It's a warning now. But when this doctor tried to warn people, y'all silenced her. Y'all took away her license. She was being sued. The hospital that she was working for, Methodist Hospital in Texas, publicly shamed her on social media.
All of a sudden, I've got CNN calling me.
So this was her. She did this 2 months ago on Joe Rogan, and she was speaking about her experience, right? And if you got, I suggest you guys, it's about like 2 hours. This particular interview, if you guys care to watch this interview, I'm gonna put the link. Let me put the link. I'm gonna put the link. I can't even. They're not even allowing me to copy it. Wow. I'm gonna put the link. Give me a second. I'm gonna put the link in the comments or in the comment section right now. So that way you guys could go back and watch it yourself, because there's a lot of information, a lot of telling information, right? Let me copy this link. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. And after this broadcast, go back and watch it, because I'm going to go back and watch it myself too. It's 2 hours long. But I just put the link to it in the chat. I want you to hear. I just want you guys to hear a little bit of this.
What was going through your mind while that was happening?
I spent the weekend in the fetal position and a lot of tears, and then I was pissed, and on Monday I hired a lawyer, and I hired a guy to help me with the press, and I held a press conference on Monday. I resigned, and then I sued them. So, and then I just have been working to try to clear my name.
Wow. But it's so hard to.
Is it still echoing? Really quick. Was it echoing just now? I'm gonna try to fix it. Was it echoing? Let me know really quickly. Was the video, or is the video echoing? Okay, it's clear. All right, all praises.
to imagine for someone who's never experienced what you went through, what that must be like emotionally to just get thrown to the wolves in front of the world, like publicly, by people like CNN, like where it gets so weird because if that never happens to you, you look at CNN and you go, oh, they're the news. They're going to tell me the truth. I just automatically thought that. Or they're at least saying what they're allowed to say. Maybe the government holds back some information, but they're not going to lie. And then you see my own self on TV, and I'm sure, but I'm used to being like attacked for things.
I think the harder is CNN, whatever, but it's more just the locally, like going to the grocery store, going to the baseball game where your kid's playing and like hoping, sitting in a corner because you don't want anybody to see you.
Did anybody ever bother you?
No, honestly, no. But you just feel
Right.
very self-conscious. It's hard not to.
Yeah.
Even now, I still feel self-conscious, but it's a lot better. I mean, I had a Mother's Day event at school, and people actually came up and said nice things to me for once. So that was
That's nice.
That was nice.
Well, a lot of people got red pilled, to use the Matrix expression, where they woke up to what's really going on during. I mean, it's kind of a masterful job of propaganda over the years that the pharmaceutical drug companies have done. I mean, because most people aren't even aware of how many drugs get pulled. They're not aware of the high percentage of them. What is it, in the 30s?
Well, yes, about 33%. They looked at it over 10 years. 33% had significant safety warnings on the drugs. And it took about 4 years for those to become recognized. I mean, there are drugs I used to prescribe that are no longer on the market.
Did y'all hear that? It said when those particular drugs came out, there were warnings on the labels itself. But it took about 4 years for them to now start enforcing that. So could it really have been, supposedly, allegedly? I don't know. We're trying to put the pieces together, right, guys? Could it be that they knew all along that there was side effects and it was dangerous, but they had to silence these doctors so that way they could get as much money as they could? We're just hypothetically speaking, right? Could it be that was the whole end game? Because remember I tell y'all, it's always about the money. That's how Edom rolls. Money, power, and control. Money, power, and control. That's Edom's whole MO right there. And here it is. She's saying that she was warning the people, but she got looked at as the psycho. So no one could listen to her. Because why? We created, allegedly, supposedly, hypothetically, we created all of this medicine that needs to be sold. But what happens if nobody buys the medicine now because of what this doctor is saying? Oh, no. We can't have this doctor mess with our pockets. Hypothetically, supposedly, allegedly. Millions of people were affected, but a lot of people got rich. A lot of people's lives will never be the same. Think about that. Millions of people. It said, I read an article. It said it was estimated about 900 million doses was administered worldwide. And I kind of feel like it's probably more than that, but that's the number that they're giving us. Right? I feel like it was more that was administered because there's still more being taking it now. And they're rolling out a new one for the fall. If y'all didn't know that, they're rolling out another one. So all these people that lined up to take an experimental drug, supposedly, allegedly, hypothetically. All these people who lined up to take it. Now their lives, according to their research and their statistics, and like, matter of fact, hold on, because I'm not just saying this out of nowhere. The FDA says that. The FDA said they have the records here, right? Let me put it on the screen. Based on analyses of commercial health insurance claims data from inpatient and outpatient settings. So they have the data of how many people's lives were affected by this medicine, supposedly medicine. They have the data. These people's lives will never be the same. Now that they've gotten the number that they've wanted financially, supposedly, allegedly, hypothetically, that magic number that they wanted to make off of this medicine, supposedly, that they got. Now we could put out the warnings. All right, let's let them know that people from the age of 6 months to 64 got myocarditis. Because we could still make money off it, but we don't need as much money. You know what I'm saying? We made enough already, supposedly, hypothetically, allegedly. All these people's lives will never be the same. And now the people, I'm just going to put this question out there. The people who back this, whether you didn't help fund it or not, if you went online on social media and you was a influencer or you was a celebrity and you was, encouraging people to go and do that stuff, blood is on your hands. So now the question is, will these people be absorbed from what they've done? In the part that they took, or in the part that they played in this whole fiasco? Because remember, we're talking about whatever you sow, you shall reap. So all the people who backed this program, who funded it, who pushed it, who gave it, will they be absorbed? Can they be absorbed from this? And we see so much, and that's just on that level when it comes to the medical side. What they doing on the earth currently, destroying the earth, pillaging the earth. Right? They think that they could be absorbed from that. That is not going to come back around to them. You know how we know? You know how we know? That's how they think. Because of this right here. SpaceX. We spoke about SpaceX before on this channel. Right? We spoke about SpaceX. Funded by your boy Elon Musk. You see? Now, why do y'all think they want to go into space? What are they trying to run from? What are they trying to hide? Or who are they trying to hide from? That's the question. Making life multi-planetary. Making life multi-planetary. Mars and beyond. Hold on, I gotta do this real quick. Let me look at this real quick. Let me look at this word real quick. And something piqued my interest earlier today, right? Because I'm like, out of all of the so-called planets that they got out there, right? They keep talking about Mars, right? We got to get to Mars. We got to go to Mars. Let's go, right? Life on Mars. Mars is an interesting so-called planet. Look at this though. Look at the etymology of the word Mars, right? Look at this. This is very interesting. Mars. So this is back from the 13th century, right? As the name of the bright reddish orange planet in the heavens, late 14th century. As the name of the Roman god of war. From Latin, Mars. The Roman god of war identified with Greek Ares. The Greek called him Ares. A name of unknown origin, apparently from early Marvers related to Oscar Memers. I don't know who that is, but let's see what else we got here. So it's funny that they always want to get to Mars, the god of war, the god of destruction, right? Aries. Where we at here? Let me see. It says the planet was so named by the Romans, no doubt, for its blood-like color. So, the god of war, Mars, I'm just trying to put two and two together. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know. But I just find it very interesting that they want to get to Mars, right? So let's look at this. Can I make this bigger so you guys can see it? Right? Mars and beyond. The road to making humanity multiplanetary. Why? My thing is why leave Earth? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's wrong with Earth? What's wrong with it? You only leave a place. You only leave a place when you're trying to escape something, or you're looking for better, or you done used up the resources here already. All right, so we got to move on. People usually say that with moving from place to place, but these nut jobs is trying to leave the Earth. They trying to leave the planet. A city on Mars. Establishing a self-sufficient city on Mars will require upwards of 1 million people. So they looking to bring 1 million people and millions of tons of cargo to be delivered to the red planet by launching more than 10 times per day. Yeah? Yeah, why Mars? They asking why Mars at an average distance of 140 million miles, which is also a lie. Like what? How y'all know it's 140 million miles away? Lie. Mars is one of Earth's closest habitable neighbors. How do y'all know it's habitable? This is all foolishness. Oh, look at this. They got a countdown here. There's 6 months. 6 months to get to, oh no, okay, it's not a countdown. It's six. It would to their knowledge or to their studies, it would take 6 months to get to Mars. It has 2 moons and 14 orbiting satellites. All a lie. All a lie. Here's the starship, y'all, that they're gonna use to get there. They want to leave Earth. Right? Look. The next window will open in 2026. And look, all of this is code language for something. The next window will open in 2026. What's going to open in 2026? So let's be on a lookout for 2026 if something happens, because this is what they're looking for, right? But here's the starship, y'all. Space, the final frontier. All right, they're going out there. They're going out there. Hold on, they're going out there. Let me read this. Let me read this when they're trying to go out there. Edom will be humbled. What's crazy is y'all created this madness. All of the mess that we seeing happening on the earth, people being harmed, civilizations and countries being toppled and destroyed, and y'all trying to leave it? Yeah, and y'all trying to leave us here to fix y'all mess? Come on. You done sowed all of this on the earth. You don't think that there's a recompense coming for you? Nah, you smarter than the Most High, right? You smarter than the Most High. Why don't we just leave? Yeah, that's right. Let's just leave. Let's go to Mars. Let's start fresh. Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. They're the ambassadors. They are the representation of all of the Gentiles. They lead all of them. It says, arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And I want y'all to keep that in mind. Y'all see what the Most High said here? The Most High said, arise ye, and let's arise up against her in battle. So it's not like Edom don't know there's a battle coming for him. Keep that in mind. Right? Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Everywhere they go, they hate it. And when we talk about Edom, we're talking about the hierarchy of Edom. Not your regular, everyday, hardworking American Caucasian male and woman. I know some good people. My neighbors are good people. And they're hardworking just like me. And when I sit down and have conversations with them, we're all going through the same thing. Just different skin color. But we're talking about the hierarchy. The ones who have the finances to do this. The ones who systematically oppress and destroy. The ones who's destroyed the earth and trying to leave it. We're talking about them. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. They're deceived. They really think they could leave this planet. They really think that they're going to be able to build life on another planet. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. That was your original place where you lived. You didn't have any homeland. You lived in the mountains. Mount Seir. Right? Whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. But we're going to focus right here. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. And it's funny that we just read that, because I really didn't have no intentions of reading that scripture today. But look at this. It's like the Most High segue this next point right here. What they afraid of? The United States Space Force. That just joint sound like some joint that we would have watched in Cartoon Network when we were kids. Space Force. It has some weird music to it, theme song, and they got robots and all type of planes. Space Force. This is not a joke. Like this is like real deal. Like the United States of America have a space force. They know the battle is coming to them. This is why they're trying to meet Christ in the sky. Matter of fact, they ain't even trying to meet him in the sky. They trying to neutralize him before he even touched the earth, before he touched down, because they know exactly where he's going. Isaiah 63 tells you where he's going. Right? Matter of fact, let me read that real quick. I'm gonna come back to Space Force. We come back to Space Force. Space Force. All right, we coming back to Space Force. Look at this. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? He's going right to their capital. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat? So they're going to be looking at him like, yo, why is your garments dipped in blood? Why is there blood? Why is your garments covered in blood? I have trodden the wine presses alone, and of the people, talking about of Edom, the hierarchy, there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger. What anger? Why is he so angry? Why is he so mad? Look what you've done to the earth. Look what you've done to God's people. And you think that you think you could escape from that? No, buddy. You reap what you sow. You can't try to escape that. It would go against the law of life to do that. And Most High can't do that. No man is exempt from that. It says, I have trodden the wine presses alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So the Christ that they've been teaching us in these churches ain't the Christ that's written up in Isaiah 63. The Christ we talking about is come back for war. Because why? He has to render unto them what they've done to others. Is point blank period. But they know it's coming. This is why they have the Space Force. Space Force, man. Let's look at this. Let me enlarge the screen. This is how we look. No. Let's go back to slide 1. Look, Space Force, first officer. Come on. It's going too fast. Space Forces, first officer trained course graduates at Peterson SFB. So this is the first. He was one of the first to graduate the Space Force Academy. Right? Look at this. The War Games of 2025 strengthened international partnerships, shapes future space operations. They had war games, y'all. I wonder what those war games was about. And look at the emblem in the back. You can't make this up. It's as if the Most High already knew they was going to do this. Well, not. He did know. Look at the emblem in the back. Look at the emblem in the back. And let me go back to the scripture. Look at the emblem. Yo, you can't make this up. Even if I tried, I couldn't make it up. Look at the emblem in the back. You got an eagle overlooking outer space, overlooking the earth from outer space with the stars in the background. Look at that. You got the eagle in the background overlooking the earth from space amongst the stars. The book of Obadiah says what? Though thy matter of fact, put it on the screen. Look. What Obadiah said? Like, you can't make this up. So you can't even make a mistake on who the Most High is talking to. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Where it went? Let's go back. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Come on, where's my picture at? Oh, it's not letting me go back. It's hating. Right? Let me go back. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Look at this. The war games. Dang, I wanted to show the image. Let's get the image. Here it goes. Look. Show the image. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, thus saith the Most High, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. Look, the eagle's nest is amongst the stars overlooking the earth. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So it's as if the Most High knew he was going to be talking to the Space Force. He knew that they would create a Space Force. And it's in the emblem. Yo, this is yo, Most High don't make no mistakes, man. They really messing with the wrong God. Like, look at these guys. Exactly what the Most High said in verse 4 is their emblem for the war games. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. Look at this. Thence will I bring thee down. Yeah, the minute you try to come up there with your Space Force, you can't make this up. And they want to say that the Bible is man-made. The Bible is a fictional book. Show me the man that wrote it. Show me the man that knew that this would be the emblem and write it in the book of Obadiah. Y'all gotta be crazy. Right? So look, the Most High said what? Rise against her in battle. They ready for the battle. They're trying to get ready. Prepare, develop, and deliver. Deliver who? Who y'all trying to deliver? How we do it? Join our team. Who are we? Look at the commander. Look at the commanders. Edom is not playing. Yo, listen, they joining forces. They joining forces for this one, right? Space Training and Readiness Command exists to prepare combat-ready USSF force to fight and win in a contested, degraded, and operational limited environment. Though the deliberate development, education, and training of space professionals, through development of space war fighting, doctrine, tactics, techniques, and procedures, and the test and evaluation of the USSF compatibilities. My thing is, like, why do you need to train to fight in space? Why do we need to train to fight in space, brothers and sisters? Is as you know what it is? They got the book of Obadiah plastered on the wall in their war room. And they every morning they look and they read it. Men, the great war is against us. It's coming to us. The God from heaven will send his son, and We have to defend this earth. That's how they prep each other when they talk. Look, the mission will prepare the USSF to prevail in competition and conflict through innovation, education, training, doctrine, and tests. I wonder what's the doctrine. Now I want to know what the doctrine is, because they have intel, or they're being prepped or briefed. That's the word. They're being briefed on what they're fighting against. So I really want to know what the doctrine is. Vision. Prepare every guardian. So they're called guardians. Like the guardians of this earth. They don't want to let the earth, they don't want to give up the power. Prepare every guardian, develop superior space capabilities, and deliver war fighting solutions. They know the war is coming. They know Christ is coming. They know he's coming. They're afraid. They got to prepare. Look, priorities. Prepare every guardian. STARCOM will train, educate, and develop world-class guardians to prevail against dynamic adversaries. Dynamic adversaries. Yo, these people, they're scared. They're scared of the Most High, man. They scared. It's all good, though. You can't escape this. Whatever you listen, you done destroyed the earth. Now you trying to leave it, and you trying to evade judgment. Come on, man. Come on. With what measure you meet, the same shall be measured unto you. So you can't escape that golden rule. You can't destroy the earth, harm millions of people, and think that you're not going to get a judgment for that. Come on, man. Look, STARCOM will provide realistic and accessible training, range, and test environments to support the war fighting. STARCOM will innovate, enhance strategies for more resilient and defendable space power projection in increasingly threatened space environment. They trying to bring the battle to the heavens, y'all. Lucifer said it. He said it. I will go. I'm trying to get back to the sides of the north. So what they're being told is that they're going to get back up there in war with the God of heaven. That's the reason why they have a space force. They have to train how they're going to get up there to fight with the Most High. Their pride has what? Deceived them to think that they can even go up there. And brothers and sisters, please, if you can, hit that like button. I see all y'all in the building. If y'all could just do me a favor, it's free. Just hit it. Right? Hit that like button. Look at this. STARCOM will innovate enhanced strategies for more resilient and defendable space power projection in more increasingly threatened space environments. Develop superior space capabilities. They not playing. They not playing. STARCOM will build trust, grow relationships, and improve interoperable. There it goes. Tongue twister. Interoperability. There it goes. Stay in school, y'all. Right? Interoperability amongst allies and partners. So this is not just an American thing. There's a space force, best believe, in every country. They're all preparing for that battle. Joel 3, anyone? Joel chapter 3, anyone? STARCOM will cultivate guardians who create new capabilities, test and elevate concepts, and validate new weapon system tactics. This is crazy. Look at this. Oh, I got to read this one. Look at this. They got America in all caps. STARCOM will increase America and her allies' abilities to prevail in conflict through innovative war fighting capabilities and tactics that keep USSF ahead of any emerging threat. America and her allies. And the Most High said, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. They know who the Most High is talking to. They know. This is why they look. This is written all in there. Look, they tell on themselves. They tell on themselves all the time. There's no way they think in their mind that they're gonna escape this. Because I just read a prophecy that shows that they're not gonna escape it. I just read a prophecy that said that they're not gonna escape it. Who's that cometh to Basra? You see that? So here it is. They're trying to absorb themselves or escape being judged. They don't want to feel what they've been doing to millions of people for centuries. They don't want to feel that. So you know what? We just pack it up, guys. We gotta leave. You ain't going anywhere. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There ain't no way you're gonna be able to go to escape the eyes of the Lord. Right? I just wanted to share that with y'all. I wanted to share that with y'all to show y'all the dynamic on that. That's one rule that they cannot escape from. You cannot escape that universal law. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. It's impossible. You cannot escape that. But for us, right, we got to keep this in mind. We got to continue to self-reflect. And this chapter that I'm going to read right here, Sirach chapter 7, is, to me, it breaks down the self-reflection to a T and what it looks like. Right? And for those of you who may not know what the book of Sirach is or the book of Ecclesiastes, we're reading from the Apocrypha. Okay, we're reading from the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha was taken out of the original King James Version Bible. So if you have a Bible without the Apocrypha in it, you do not have a complete Bible. So this chapter that we're reading right now is in the Apocrypha. So Sirach 7. Let me read it. Read it from here so I can see better. Look what it says. Sirach 7:1. It says, do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. See, look, they all had this understanding back then. They understood that if I do evil, evil will come to me. But it's as if we living in a time where people do not even understand that the result of what you're going through right now is what you put into this earth, what you did. Instead of them self-reflecting and be like, yo, I'm off, I'm crazy. No, you did this to me. Why are you doing this? Why that? But what about what are you doing? Is there any error from what you're doing? Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. Look, that's amazing. To depart from the unjust, people who are wicked, move away from them. Don't even hang with them. And iniquity shall turn away from thee. You won't find yourself in crazy situations. You won't find yourself in tempting situations. My son, sow not upon the furrows of unrighteousness, or the furrows of unrighteousness, and thou shalt not reap them sevenfold. Here it is right here. It's showing us. It's telling us in the book of Sirach. Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. Don't stop trying to put yourself above other people. The Most High exalt who he want to exalt. Stop. You don't got to make it seem like you know something more than somebody else. The Most High that don't please the Most High, right? Look, justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. See? Seek not to be judge. See, seek not to be a judge. Seek not to be judge, being not able to take away iniquity. You can't even take away the sins that you have. But you want to hold somebody else to a standard that you can't even hold yourself to. It says, seek not to be judge, being not able to take away iniquity, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and stumbling block in the way of the uprightness, of thy uprightness. Offend not against the multitude of a city. Right? We see this all the time, especially in sports. This is one of the funniest scriptures right here. We see this all the time in sports. Matter of fact, during the NBA season, right? Just to go into that realm a little bit, when the Knicks was in the playoffs, right? And the New Yorkers was going so crazy. New York fans was going so crazy. If you didn't see it, man, I don't know where you was at. But New York fans was going crazy. They was tearing up the city. They was parading in the city. And mind you, they only won one game. There was a game one. When they won game one in the playoffs, New Yorkers was going crazy as if they won the championship. Thank the Most High they didn't win the championship, because who knows what the city would have looked like if they won the championship. But when it says here, offend not against the multitude of a city, during that playoff series between the Knicks and the Pacers, you had one Pacer fan in the midst of a whole bunch of New York fans. And he's there talking proudly, like, yeah, this, that. Pacers, we gonna win. They ripped that guy's jersey, throwing stuff at him. He got chased out of New York. And when I seen that, this scripture came to mind. Like, you're not even from here, but you're offending the civilians that live there. Does that make sense? You're not going to be protected. The scripture clearly says, offend not against the multitude of a city. One man against the whole city. My man came with a Pacers jersey on to a Knick game, knowing Knick fans are crazy. Had he been reading Sirach, he would have known not to do that. Had he been reading Sirach, he would have called up a couple of friends and like, yo, y'all want to come with me? My man came by himself. Offend not against the multitude of a city, and then thou shalt not cast thyself down amongst the people. Bind not one sin upon another. For in one thou shalt not be unpunished. It's crystal clear. You can't continue to live a life of sin and think that is not going to catch up to you. Life does not work like that. Eventually, your house of cards is going to come crumbling down. And I've seen it happen to brothers time and time and time again. You got brothers want to deal with so many different women and have different baby mamas. And when it's pay time, when it's payday, they barely have 2 nickels to even rub together. You always see them at work doing overtime because they can't afford to live because of all of the child support that's coming out of their check because the life you wanted to live. And they be in there talking to me, you know, crying and you know, telling me how wicked their baby mamas are. But bro, who told you to be in that? Who told you to do what you did? They weren't wicked when they weren't wicked when you was messing with each and every one of them. Oh, but now they got you on child support. It's unfair. They wicked. They did that to me. I gotta live in my car. You looking at the end result, but what led up to that? You created that mess. So don't be crying now. You made your bed. You gotta lay in it. See? Bind not one sin upon another, for in one thou shalt not be unpunished. Say not, God will look upon the multitude of my oblations, and when I offer to the Most High God, he will accept it. So the Most High cannot be bought by your sacrifices, your offerings. And we was talking about it last week about the carnal ordinances of the law. People was bringing carnal sacrifices and not really repenting. The Most High didn't care about what they was offering. Oh, because you give to a donation of your own choosing. You gave $1 million to a donation to an orphanage. Yeah, you know, that should help all of the sin that I did in this community. Let me at least give these orphans $1 million. And who knows if those orphans even get that money. So this is what the Most High is saying right here. Say not, God will look upon my multitude of my oblations. And when I offer to the Most High God, he will accept it. Yeah, all right. Be not faint-hearted when thou makest thy prayer, and neglect not to give alms. Right? I'm gonna hold it right. I'm gonna hold it right there. All right. So as you can see, Sirach chapter 7 clearly has a lot of instructions on how to ensure not to live a life where all you reaping is the negative of what you put out in the earth. Right? A lot of people is putting out negative, thinking that they're going to receive something positive in return. It don't work like that. And even if you do receive anything positive, it's short-lived. It's a short-lived satisfaction, because when it hits the fan, it all come crumbling down, come crashing down. Now you're going to be holding your head, talking about something, oh, woe is me. Nobody understand what I'm going through. Yeah, I don't understand because I don't know what you was doing. Make me understand what you was doing. Then I can understand why you got to that case. Right? So, brothers and sisters, as we approach the Feast of Trumpets, understand, remember, the trumpet was blown to remind everybody to get their house in order. The trumpet was blown to remind you, okay, in 10 days, right, you got to atone for your sins. So during that period, we all should be reflecting, right? Undoing what we've done was wrong and do right. Because listen, the only thing that you're going to bring to yourself is sin and damnation. Hold on. Right? You guys got to understand this. Wrong screen. Right? You have to understand this. Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Yeshua HaMashiach, our Lord and Savior. So you got to understand, if you are, all you doing is putting out sin, right? That's what you're putting out there. That's how you living. That's how you living your life. Understand the end result of that is death. And like I was saying earlier, the Most High purposely allowed us to live a life where we could understand what goes around comes around. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. He made us live a life where nobody's exempt from that, so that way we could understand what judgment is. So the Most High gives us a glimpse of judgment here on earth. If you do evil, you receive evil in return. If you do good, you receive good. And that's what this lifestyle, that's what this current life teaches everybody who's on this planet. So now when you get to the Most High's domain and he's getting ready to judge, if you did evil in this earth, you think you're going to get rest? Your life didn't teach you that. Hello? But if you lived a life that was good, pleasing to him, according to his will, according to his standard, then yeah, you can get some rest. You will be in rest. Because life taught you that. You're a good citizen, you do good, you get good things in return. And it's about energy too. You give out good energy comes to you. But if you in a funk, you having a bad day, and don't y'all be realizing that you'll be having a bad day. You got an attitude. You probably didn't have your coffee yet. You didn't have breakfast. You still tired. You mad that you got to go to this job. Now you taking it out on somebody, and what happened? Your whole day just becomes negative. You're attracting negative people all day. People giving you attitude and like, yo, you just can't get a break. It's because that energy is around you. You putting that out. But if you have a positive outlook, you have a positive mentality, you're not pessimistic, but you're optimistic, good things happen. Your day goes smooth. You're at ease. You're calm. People are more pleasant towards you. See? Because you're putting out that energy. You're putting that out to the world. We gotta understand that's a real law. And none of us is exempt. Positivity is the key, brothers and sisters. And as we approach the Feast of Trumpets, going into the Day of Atonement, and then after that, heading to the Feast of Tabernacles, where we will be together for 10 days. Right? Trumpets and the Day of Atonement should have been teaching you how to self-reflect. So now when you out there with your brothers and sisters camping for 10 days, you've already learned how to self-reflect instead of pointing a finger. Because why? We're all going to be together in the same space. So it's going to be easy to just point the finger when something goes wrong. Like, well, you did that. You said this. You did that wrong. Rather than saying, what can I do to help fix this? Because that's what trumpets was supposed to do in your mind. If you kept trumpets properly. That's what the Day of Atonement should have did for you if you kept it properly. So when you get to the wilderness, you don't have an evil eye. You're self-reflecting all the time while you're there, because no one is perfect. And if you can't do that, it makes no sense for you to be amongst the body. It makes no sense for you to come out there and camping and wanting to be around everybody. If you looking to blame everybody, you didn't learn to self-reflect. You didn't really atone. And to put it out there, the real atonement is Christ. So if you out there, I know that you took on the real atonement, which is Christ, and Christ is forgiven. And Christ said what? Christ reminded us of what? Let me read that one more time. Let me read that one more time before I get out of here. Let me read that one more time. Right here. Matthew 6:14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. See how that works? But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. It's crystal clear. That's how it works. That's how this world is how this world revolves. It's the golden rule. Whatever you put out there is what you will receive. You cannot receive good if you don't put nothing good out there. That's just how it works. So, brothers and sisters, I really truly pray that this broadcast was edifying. I pray that it was edifying. I pray that we all gain some more clarity on what it means you reap what you sow. I hope we got some more insight, and I hope we all now are able to address these situations better, approach them better, approach life better, have a better outlook on life. Because if you all you have is negative thoughts, don't expect positivity to come find you. You're only going to attract negative thoughts. And it goes back to that old saying, misery loves company. And misery is a demon, y'all. So that demon going to invite more miserable demons. Resist the devil and he shall flee, man. All praises be to the Most High, man. I'm so happy that we was able to have this broadcast. Right? Real quick, if there's any questions, throw it in the chat real quick. If not, Godspeed. I'm going to go and hang out and chill, kick back a little bit. Get ready for Shabbat. Get ready for the feast. And we're going to have a great time. Right? We're going to praise and worship. We're going to have a great time. And then shortly after that, we're going to get ready for the Feast of Tabernacles, man. We're going to get ready for the Feast of Tabernacles. I can't wait. The Feast of Tabernacles is such a breath of fresh air just to get out the city and just to be away from all of the madness. You don't got to worry about no bills right now. Still, you still got to pay your bills. I mean, they ain't going nowhere. But, just for that stretch, you don't got to worry about them, right? Make sure you guys settle your affairs before you go out there, right? Put things in order. But yeah, man, it's gonna be such a great time. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to rehearsal with the band. I can't wait to join up with the band, right? I can't wait for us to do our thing, right? Can't wait. And when I'm not done yet. When I'm done with y'all, I'm gonna go over some music over here. Oh man, so much. But yeah, man. Let me see. Stephen Collins says, when is the day of trumpets or the Feast of Trumpets? The Feast of Trumpets will commence Saturday night sundown. Right? We will be in the Feast of Trumpets. So Saturday, while we in Shabbat, when the sun go down, blow the trumpets, we're in the Feast of Trumpets. So it's actually a double Shabbat. It's a double Shabbat, right? Saturday and Sunday would be a double Shabbat. What else we got here? What else we got here? What else we got here? Georgia Harris says, Khan, it was inspiring to help understand the upcoming holy days. Khan, all praises. What else we got here? Post that space link. Okay. Julian Davis, I got you. You talking about for the SpaceX? The space. No, not the SpaceX. The Space Force. I'm gonna put that one in. I know you're talking about that. The Space Force link. I'll put that in the comments right now. Here you go. Here you go. For the Space Force. All right. Devine D asks, are there any women teachers in your body? And the answer is no. As far as teaching the congregation, as far as being preachers or giving lessons, no. We do not have women teachers. But women they do teach amongst themselves, right? That's another thing. If they have a ministry within themselves and the women are teaching other women, we have that, but we do not have women teachers. Like you wouldn't be able to come in our church and see a woman pastor preaching, because that's not permitted according to the scriptures. So, but we do have women, in ministry, that do have separate ministries with the women. Okay. And they teach amongst the women. So we do have that. We have Sister Shirley in the New York congregation, who's very hands-on with the women and the sisters in our body. So in that respect, yes, we have that. But as far as having women teaching the whole congregation and ministering we don't have that. All right. No Juanita Bidums in here. All right. Let me see what else we got here. All right. What else we got here? This was very edifying. All praises. Paulette Hall asked, what happened after the trumpet? So after the trumpet, well, in ancient Israel, when the Feast of Trumpets would come around, right? They would sound the trumpet, but that was just an alarm. Trumpets was always used as a form of signal or an alarm, right? Or to send a message. But on that day, the trumpet was sound to have the house of Israel to prepare for the Day of Atonement, right? They would be preparing for the Day of Atonement. And then 10 days after that would be 10 days after the trumpet sound would be the Day of Atonement. If that helps answer your question. Right? All right. So I'm about to call it a night here. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Right? But once again, before I'm out of here, brothers and sisters, before I'm out of here, I want to make it known once again that the Hebrew and Bible Academy will start September 7th, right? Will start September 7th. So please, brothers and sisters, y'all see the theme of this coming academy. Revelation, mysteries of the spiritual realm. Visit us at historytimes.org to enroll. Do not forget. All right. Yeah. So, yep. I guess that is my time, man. Like, I really appreciate you all coming in. Right. I appreciate you all coming in. I thank you all for being here with me, staying up with me and, sacrificing your time, because time is very important. Like, I don't like to waste time at all. I don't like to waste time at all. And the fact that you guys are here, I know this was not time wasted. So I thank you guys for sacrificing your time, sacrificing your attention and your ears and your eyes to this broadcast, and to be edified and to stay, tightly knit together, to try to stay spiritually grounded. This is all we got. All right. What else we got to look forward to? All right. A little bit of vanity here and there. Nothing too crazy, but this is all we got. Right. So praise the Most High. And I'm definitely going to sign off, but I really appreciate y'all for coming in, man. I love y'all so much.
You could be anywhere in the world, but you're now tuned into the Born of Levi experience.
Yes, yes, yes. This was the Born of Levi experience here on G.O.C.C Media. I'm your host, Deacon Hazak, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna, Most High willing, we'll see you on the next one next week, if it be the Most High's will. Right? Stay prayed up, sin not. Right? Remember the feast is this Shabbat. Right, sundown. We're gonna be bringing in the feast of trumpets, the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. Right, so remember, self-reflection is needed. Start preparing your mind from then, even from now. Anything that you see that you could correct, you have time to correct it. Anything that you see that you need improvement in, you have time to improve it. Right. These are the feasts that the Most High allows us to be able to self-reflect and to make life-changing adjustments. Right. But thank you all. I appreciate you all. Have a good night. Right. Make sure you guys say your prayers before you go to bed, because the enemy never sleeps. These spirits never sleep. Right. Pray over your children. If you have children, pray over your children. Right. Right. So, all right. Is this Monday considered a Shabbat? No. This Monday is Labor Day. We don't follow that. This Monday is not a Shabbat. We do not celebrate Labor Day. Right. I'll be working on Labor Day. So some labor, right? Some Labor Day. It should be a day where you should be resting from your labor, right? Nah, but I'm still working. So, yeah, Monday is not a Shabbat. So the Shabbat is from Saturday. For this week is Saturday and Sunday. Is a double Shabbat, because we're bringing in the Feast of Trumpets when the sun goes down Saturday night, which will bring us into a new day, which is Sunday in this world's, according to this world's calendar. Right. So Saturday is a double Shabbat this weekend, not Monday. Monday is Labor Day. We could care less about Monday, Labor Day. Right. Is next Monday a Shabbat? No, the feast of the memorial blowing of the trumpets. Sorry, the Day of Atonement. Monday, you could consider it a Shabbat. It's still a holy day. It's a Day of Atonement. So Monday the 8th, which would be 10 days from now. Monday at sundown. Okay? Monday at sundown. When the sun goes down Monday night, you are in the Day of Atonement. So from Monday night to Tuesday sundown, you are to fast and afflict your souls according to Leviticus. Matter of fact, let me read that real quick. I know I said I'm out of here, but I'm gonna use this as a teaching moment to show the people real quick. And after this, I'm out of here. Right here. In Leviticus chapter 23, where it speaks about the Day of Atonement. So it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a Day of Atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall what? Afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. Right? So we understand that we don't need a sacrificial atonement, because that sacrificial atonement was Christ, right? Or is Christ. Now we just observe it, for the feast's sake, right? We observe that day, and we still keep the fasting and afflicting our soul on that day. And then when the sun goes down Tuesday night, you know, we feast, we break bread, and we eat, we break the fast, right? All right. Right. So, yep, there it goes. Hopefully that answered your questions. I'm out of here. Stay prayed up, sin not. Once again, remember the feast. Bless you all. I'm out of here. Right. See y'all in the next one.